Maya almost canceled the blind date 3 times. Her best friend insisted, but after years of dating disasters, she wasn't in the mood to meet another nice guy who chewed too loud or talked about crypto all night. When she arrived at the cozy Italian restaurant, she instantly regretted it. The man, Ethan, was polite but quiet, fidgeting with his napkin as though he'd rather be anywhere else. The conversation was awkward. They both laughed in short bursts, mostly to fill silence. After 40 minutes, Maya decided to call it a night. She reached for her purse when a small voice piped up behind her. "Daddy." A little girl, maybe 6, ran toward their table. Ethan's face softened instantly. "Hey, bug," he said, lifting her into his lap. The girl looked at Maya with wide, curious eyes. Then she smiled, as if recognizing her. "You're the one from Daddy's story." Maya froze. "What story?" "The one where the nice lady helps him find his heart again," the child said matter-of-factly. Ethan's face turned red. He tried to hush her, but Maya's heart thudded. "I tell her bedtime stories," he said sheepishly. "About a woman I dreamed of meeting someday." Maya blinked. The regret she'd felt minutes ago melted into something softer, deeper. She smiled at the girl. "Well, maybe your daddy's story just came true." Claire adjusted her coat nervously as she entered the cafe. The smell of roasted coffee beans and cinnamon hit her, but it didn't help calm her nerves. She hated blind dates, especially after the last few disasters. Still, her coworker had sworn this one would be different. Daniel was handsome in a quiet, understated way, soft brown hair, warm eyes, a stubble that made him look perpetually tired. But he kept glancing toward the cafe entrance, checking his watch like he was waiting for someone else to show up. She stirred her latte and offered a polite smile. "So, you work in construction management?" He nodded. "Yeah, it's busy, but I like it. Keeps my hands and head occupied." "Sounds fulfilling," she said. He smiled faintly. "It pays the bills." And then silence. Again. Claire took a sip of her drink and stared out the window, wondering if she could leave without being rude. He seemed distracted, maybe even uninterested. She reached for her bag, ready to end it, when the bell over the cafe door jingled. A little girl, maybe 7, came rushing toward their table, a swirl of pink jacket and brown curls. "Daddy, they ran out of brownies," she cried, holding up an empty napkin. Daniel's face instantly changed. The tension melted from his features, replaced by a warmth that made Claire pause. He scooped the girl into his lap with an affectionate laugh. "We'll get ice cream next time, kiddo," he said. That was the first time Claire saw him truly smile. Then the girl turned to her, eyes bright with recognition. "Wait a second. You're the one from Daddy's story." Claire blinked. "Excuse me." The child nodded enthusiastically. "The one about the lady who made him smile again after Mommy went to heaven." Daniel's eyes went wide. "Mia." But the little girl was unstoppable. "He tells me stories about you. He says you have kind eyes and laugh like sunshine." Claire's heart twisted. She looked from the girl to Daniel, who looked utterly mortified. I tell her stories sometimes," he said quickly. "About people who help other people heal. It's just something I do to help her fall asleep." Mia frowned. "But you said you dreamed about her before. You said one day you'd find her." Claire didn't know what to say. Her throat felt tight, her heart caught between ache and wonder. "You dreamed about me?" she asked softly. Daniel looked like he wanted the floor to open and swallow him. "Not you specifically. Just someone like you." Mia tilted her head. "But it's true. Look, Daddy, she even has the same hair." Claire laughed, a quiet sound that broke the awkward tension. "Well, that's quite a compliment," she said. Mia grinned. "Are you going to be in the next story?" Daniel groaned. "Mia," but Claire smiled at her. "Maybe," she said gently. "If your daddy writes it." Mia gasped like she'd just been promised a pony. "Can I help?" "Of course," Claire said. When it was time to leave, Daniel hesitated. "Thank you," he said softly, "for not running out when my daughter embarrassed me." Claire smiled. "She didn't embarrass you. She reminded you that life has room for new stories." He looked at her for a long moment, then smiled, really smiled. "Maybe you'll help me write the next one." She tilted her head, heart fluttering. "I'd like that. Sophie regretted agreeing to the blind date the second she sat down. It was raining outside, her shoes were soaked, and the little coffee shop smelled overwhelmingly of hazelnut syrup. She'd picked the corner booth, pretending to scroll on her phone, wondering how fast she could escape if this one turned out like the last. Her friend Emma had set her up with a man named Jack Harper. "Trust me," Emma had said, "he's a single dad, he draws for children's books, and he's genuinely nice." When the door chimed, a tall man hurried in, rainwater dripping from his jacket. When he spotted her, his face lit up with apology. "I'm so sorry," he said as he approached. "School pickup ran late. I promise I'm not usually this disorganized." "It's okay," Sophie said, smiling despite herself. They ordered cappuccinos and talked about her editing work and his art. He was charming in a quiet way, but beneath his warmth, there was a sadness he didn't hide well. She was about to ask more when a small voice squealed, "Daddy." A little girl with curly hair came running toward them, clutching a sheet of paper. "Hey, Bug," Jack said, scooping her up. "Look," she said proudly, showing Sophie a drawing. "You're the one from Daddy's picture book." Sophie blinked. "What?" It was a sketch of a woman standing under a starry sky, same wavy hair, same soft smile. Jack turned pink. "Oh, wow, okay. This is awkward. You draw me." "Not you," he said quickly. "Just someone who looks like you." "She's symbolic." The girl giggled. "Daddy says she's the lady who brings color back to his world." Sophie laughed softly, feeling her cheeks warm. "She sounds wonderful." "She is," Jack said, smiling at his daughter. "She reminds us that there's still light, even when things feel dark." "Maybe she's real now," Sophie said. They both fell quiet for a moment, the little girl humming between them. When the rain stopped, Sophie realized something she hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Lila regretted saying yes the second she sat down. The restaurant was too fancy, the music too soft, the conversation too strained. Ben, her blind date, seemed kind but distracted, like a man living halfway between memories and the present. She was about to excuse herself when the restaurant door burst open and a small girl came running in. "Daddy," she cried, throwing herself into his arms. Ben's face transformed, his tired eyes lighting up. "There's my starshine," he murmured. The girl looked at Lila and gasped. "You're the one from Daddy's story." Lila blinked. "His story? The lady who makes the stars shine again." Ben groaned. "Ellie." Lila smiled. "That's a beautiful story." Ellie nodded seriously. "Daddy says you'll find him when he's not looking." Lila met Ben's eyes and saw a flicker of something. Hope, maybe. Later, when Ellie grew sleepy in her chair, Lila asked softly, "You tell her stories?" He nodded. "After my wife passed, it helped. In them, there's always a woman who helps us remember how to see the stars again." Lila looked toward the window, where a single star twinkled through the city glow. "Maybe she's closer than you think." Ben smiled gently. "Maybe she is." As they left, Ellie clutched Lila's hand and whispered, "Told you you were the one from Daddy's story." And for the first time in a long while, Lila didn't correct her.